Hey everybody, welcome to Ask GameSpot, where you ask the questions and we give you answers. I'm your host, Homer Ibarra, and we are talking about Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer. This guy, Chris Waters, you went there.
You and I went there, Homer. We went down on Wednesday to LA as promised to all you gun show viewers, and we've got your questions. Going to give you some answers on Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer mode. Let's start with the first one.
All right, at Ishmael's Wish asks on Twitter, how many bolt-action sniper rifles are there? And are there any specialties, i.e. a riot shield, a crossbow, etc.?
Yes, the weapons questions. So, they said they announced 30 new weapons, but they didn't get into too many details about what weapons specifically you're going to see. There was a new Honey Badger assault rifle. There was a new shotgun, that 5-chambered dealio. But the big weapon news was a new marksman class of rifle. These occupy the niche between sniper rifles and assault rifles, sort of going for that mid to long range accuracy. They pack a punch and they're really fun to use, but they're kind of hard to hit with. So you got to be skilled, but when you hit, man.
Why, thank you, Chris. Our next question comes from Twitter, at TMartLionheart. He asked, to what extent can you customize your characters? Is it just the face? Is it the gender? Is it the clothes? What is it?
Well, it's certainly the gender. That was a big thing. They made a point of showing the female soldier at the end of the reveal trailer, or the announcement trailer kind of thing. But customization is a big thing. Fueled by their new engine, it now allows them over 20,000 customized soldiers. So you're talking about face presets, you're talking about face paint, helmets, and then entire outfit was like one unit, and then emblem, and then background, so that, you know, when you have your soldiers in the lineup, you can have the American flag rippling behind them, or tigers, or what have you. So that's the kind of degree of customization you can do for your individual soldier.
Do those customizations apply to your clans, Chris? They talked about clans in the mobile app.
That's right. So the clan system, that's based fueled through the mobile app, your Call of Duty account, your ID. That, I believe, is separate. You know, you're a soldier, you're boots on the ground, but the clan stuff is sort of a metagame that happens.
Right.
And of course, your clan will probably have distinguishing characteristics, color, emblem, name, etc. But that is not going to manifest on your soldier proper, as far as I know.
Our next question comes from E. Rivera on Twitter. Will there be practice modes or be able to play offline, like bot mode, what have you?
So in the past, combat training has been a thing, and that's allowed people to play the multiplayer, but offline. In Call of Duty Ghosts, there's a new squad play system that is sort of what you're talking about. Basically, now, instead of prestiging and creating a new character, you can basically unlock up to 10 new soldiers that you just have all in a little, like, crew. And then you take those into squad play. So, for example, you could have one human player versus one human player, but they each bring their 5 AI squaddies in, and that's the conflict. Or you can have you and your AI squad against a whole AI squad in another mode. Or 4 humans against an AI squad, or, you know, it's sort of different permutations of that. The upshot being, yes, some of that stuff is offline. It is against bots, and the bot difficulty scales to your skill, and also their AI depends on what weapons they have kitted out. So there's a bit of strategy for you in terms of creating your loadout and then sending your bots into battle.
With squads, we've taken some of our innovative new game mechanics and created a whole new gameplay experience for players to enjoy.
All right, Chris, our next question comes from Facebook. Ethan Thomas Riley wants to know how the Create a Class system works.
Yes, Create a Class. Well, this year, Infinity Ward has taken a cue from Treyarch, who last year with Black Ops 2 debuted the Pick 10 system. Infinity Ward is making it their own. So your primary, your secondary, your lethal, your tactical, that stuff is going to be based on a point system. Attachments and kill streaks are going to be free. And then the real different thing they're doing is with perks. In Black Ops 2, you could have a maximum of 6 perks.
Right.
But in Call of Duty Ghosts, perks are just on this big grid, and they each have point values ranging from 1 to 5. You have 8 points you can put into perks, and so it's up to you to choose how many you want to equip. And the point values are determined by the developers to preserve balance and stuff like that. But you can also, if you choose to go without a primary weapon, similar to Black Ops 2, you get more points to put into your perks. And so it's really in the perk world that your crazier customization stuff is going to happen in Create a Class.
Chris, our next question is from Facebook again. Vincent Ruggieri wants to know, are there going to be any differences between current-gen online and next-gen online?
Yes, the next-gen question. So, Mark Rubin, the executive producer at Infinity Ward, we sat down, had a long interview with him. He was very careful to say that the gameplay experience, they're aiming to deliver parity across both console generations. So, you play on the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, the map size is going to be the same, the matches are going to be the same population, the modes, etc., etc. It's all going to be the same. The only difference is going to be the expected graphical difference, right? I think we'd all be kind of pissed if it didn't look better on the Xbox One than it does, or on the PlayStation 4 than it does on the PlayStation 3.
Damn straight.
But aside from the graphical difference, everything's going to be the same.
All right, well, that about wraps up this episode of Ask GameSpot. Chris, what is that?
I don't know if
what
it
happened?
does, Homer. What is...
I guess this is another question.
Oh, God. Of course.
Here he is, once again, XX Naruto fan XX.
I didn't even... Did you see who that was?
I don't know.
That was
it just
weird.
came out of thin air.
All right.
Why are you guys hosting the show and not Sean? I mean, we're cool and all, I guess, but what gives?
There's like a real security problem here, but
the
because it's Ask GameSpot, I'll answer.
Yes.
Sean is in London en route to Germany. Those guys, a lot of GameSpot folks, have actually traveled to Europe because later this week it's Gamescom, a massive event out of Cologne, Germany, where, coincidentally, there's going to be some new Call of Duty Ghosts announcements.
It just keeps coming,
stay
folks.
tuned to GameSpot for more on that later this week.
All right, well, thanks for asking questions, folks, and Chris, thanks for answering them.
My pleasure, Homer.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all the social media devices for the next episode of Ask GameSpot, and get your question in there.